Mido has once again found himself at the center of public attention after new reports about his relationship status began circulating online. Following his reported split from Debby, fans have been eager to know whether the couple's relationship has truly come to an end or whether there is still a chance for reconciliation. The biggest talking point is the identity of Mido's alleged new wife. Rumors surrounding his personal life have quickly spread, with social media users closely examining every new detail and trying to determine what is fact and what is simply speculation. Mido and Debby were previously known as a popular couple, and their relationship attracted considerable attention from fans. Because of that history, reports of a separation naturally sparked questions about what went wrong between them. Now, with Mido reportedly moving on, many people are asking whether this development means that the former couple is finally heading toward divorce. However, it is important to separate confirmed information from online rumors. Unless Mido or Debby officially confirms their marital status or divorce plans, claims circulating on social media should be treated cautiously. The identity of Mido's reported new partner has also become a major subject of discussion. Fans want to know who she is, how the relationship began, and whether the two have actually married. At this stage, the details surrounding the alleged marriage remain a matter of public speculation unless backed by a reliable statement or official announcement. Meanwhile, Debby's position in the story has also attracted attention. Many followers are wondering how she has responded to the reports and whether the former couple has taken legal steps to officially end their marriage. Relationship stories involving celebrities often develop quickly online. One post can lead to thousands of comments, while an unconfirmed claim can easily be presented as fact. That is why viewers should look for direct statements before reaching a final conclusion. If Mido has genuinely entered a new marriage, it would represent a major new chapter in his personal life. At the same time, if he and Debby are still legally married, questions about divorce can become even more significant. For now, the public appears to be waiting for clearer answers. Is Mido truly married to someone new? Has his relationship with Debby officially ended? Or are some of the reports simply rumors that have grown through social media? Until the people directly involved speak publicly, there is still room for uncertainty. What do you think about the situation? Do you believe Mido and Debby are finally heading for divorce? Or could there still be more to this story than the public knows? Share your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned for any confirmed updates. This story appears to have taken another unexpected turn, creating even more questions among fans. After new discussions about Mido's personal life began circulating, public curiosity has grown rapidly. In particular, reports about a new woman in Mido's life have made many people wonder how long this relationship may have existed and what is actually happening behind the scenes. Social media is already filled with different claims. Some people believe Mido may have decided to move forward with his life some time ago, while others think the reported new relationship only became noticeable after his connection with Debby began to change. But there is one important thing to remember. Not everything shared online should automatically be considered true. A single photograph, post, or comment can sometimes turn into a much bigger story, especially when celebrities are involved. The woman reportedly connected to Mido has also become a major topic of discussion. People want to know who she is, how she and Mido became connected, and what their relationship looks like today. However, without a clear statement from the people involved or reliable confirmation, it would be difficult to treat every circulating claim as fact. At the same time, attention has also returned to Debby. If Mido really has started a new chapter in his personal life, what does that mean for his previous relationship with Debby? Are the two already completely separated? Or are there still unresolved matters between them? There is another important point to consider. Relationships can be far more complicated than what the public sees. What appears on social media or in public appearances may not reveal everything happening privately. For that reason, many people are now waiting for a direct statement from either Mido or Debby. If either of them decides to address the situation publicly, it could answer several of the questions that have been circulating. Until then, it is difficult to reach a definite conclusion. New information could appear at any moment and potentially change the way this entire situation is understood. One thing is certain, public interest in Mido and Debby has not disappeared. If anything, the latest rumors have pushed their relationship back into the spotlight once again. So what do you think? Has Mido truly started a completely new chapter? Or has social media made the situation seem bigger than it really is? Let us know your thoughts in the comments and stay tuned for more updates on this developing story. The conversation surrounding Mido's personal life is showing no signs of slowing down. Just when many people thought the situation might become clearer, fresh questions have started appearing, leaving fans wondering what could happen next. One of the biggest mysteries is whether Mido has actually made a permanent decision about his future. The reports about a new marriage have naturally attracted attention, but there is still a lot that the public does not know about the circumstances surrounding it. For fans who have followed Mido and Debby for a long time, the recent developments may feel surprising. Their past connection created a strong interest among followers, and any major change in their relationship was always likely to attract public attention. Now, people are looking beyond the rumors and asking a much bigger question: what happens next? If Mido has truly moved forward with someone else, then his relationship with Debby could be entering a completely different phase. But whether that means an official divorce, a private separation, or simply a period of distance remains unclear without confirmation from the couple themselves. There is also the possibility that some of the information circulating online has been misunderstood. Celebrity relationship stories can change quickly, especially when different social media accounts repeat the same claim without providing an original source. That is why fans are watching closely for any new appearance, interview, statement, or social media update from Mido or Debby. Even a short message from either side could potentially provide important clues about where things currently stand. Meanwhile, the reported new relationship continues to generate curiosity. People are asking whether this is a recent development or something that has been kept private for quite some time. Whatever the truth may be, the situation has clearly created a lot of speculation. Until official information becomes available, it is better to view the circulating stories as reports rather than confirmed facts. For now, the biggest unanswered question remains whether Mido and Debby have reached the final stage of their relationship or whether another chapter could still be waiting. And if a major announcement does come from either of them, it could completely change the conversation. What do you think will happen next? Do you expect Mido and Debby to officially go their separate ways? Or do you think there could still be an unexpected development? Share your prediction below and stay connected for the next update. As attention continues to grow around Mido's personal life, another question is beginning to dominate the conversation. Could the next announcement finally reveal where everything stands? For now, the situation remains surrounded by uncertainty. Different versions of the story continue to circulate, and fans are trying to connect details from interviews, social media activity, and recent reports. But without a direct explanation from the people involved, there are still important pieces missing. What makes the situation especially interesting is the silence surrounding some of the biggest questions. When public figures choose not to respond immediately, it often leaves room for speculation. Fans begin searching for clues, and even small changes in social media activity can become the subject of intense discussion. Mido's reported relationship has therefore become more than just a celebrity rumor. People are interested in knowing whether this represents a serious new commitment or whether the story has been exaggerated through online discussion. At the same time, Debby's future is another part of the story that remains unclear. If the two are genuinely moving in different directions, both may eventually have to address what comes next. But personal decisions of this kind are often handled privately, away from cameras and public attention. That is why the next confirmed statement could be extremely important. One clear announcement could settle questions that have been circulating for weeks, while a lack of response could mean that the public will have to wait even longer. Another thing fans should keep in mind is that relationship rumors can easily become distorted. A headline may sound definite even when the information behind it is still developing. So, rather than assuming every claim is accurate, it makes sense to wait for reliable confirmation. Still, the level of interest shows just how closely people are following Mido and Debby. Their story continues to attract attention because fans want to know whether this is truly the end of one chapter or simply the beginning of something completely different. The coming days could bring more answers, or even more questions. If Mido decides to speak publicly about his reported marriage, his previous relationship with Debby, or his plans for the future, the entire situation could take another dramatic turn. Until then, the story remains unresolved. So, what would you like to see next? An official statement from Mido, a response from Debby, or perhaps a surprising twist that nobody expects? Let us know your thoughts and stay tuned for the latest developments. The story surrounding Mido has now reached a point where fans are looking for more than rumors. They want answers. After so much discussion about his personal life, attention is shifting toward what the future could hold for everyone involved. One possibility is that Mido may eventually decide to address the situation himself. A direct conversation could clear up questions surrounding his reported marriage and explain where things currently stand with Debby. Another possibility is that both sides may continue keeping their private lives away from the spotlight. Not every relationship issue becomes public, and sometimes the people involved choose silence because they want to protect themselves and their families from unnecessary attention. That silence, however, has not stopped the public from speculating. Fans continue to debate whether Mido has already moved on completely or whether there are still unresolved matters connected to his past relationship. The reported identity of his new wife has also added another layer to the story. While people are eager to learn more, it is important not to turn unverified information into a definite conclusion. Until the details are confirmed, there will naturally be questions surrounding the entire situation. For Debby, this could also be an important moment. Whatever happened between the two, she may eventually choose to share her own perspective. Her side of the story could provide a very different understanding of the events that have been discussed online. What happens next may depend entirely on whether either person decides to speak openly. There is also a lesson here about celebrity news in general. Headlines can create excitement, but the complete story often takes time to emerge. Information can change, and early reports do not always tell the full picture. So, while fans wait for clarity, the safest approach is to remain cautious and distinguish confirmed statements from speculation. Whether this becomes an official divorce story, a new beginning for Mido, or simply another example of rumors taking over social media, one thing is clear. People are still watching closely. And the moment an official announcement arrives, the conversation could change completely. Until that happens, the questions remain open. What is the real status of Mido and Debby? Is the reported new marriage confirmed? And what does the future hold for everyone involved? Only time, and perhaps a statement from the people at the center of the story, will provide the answers. The latest chapter of this story has left fans with one major question. Where does everything go from here? While online discussions continue, there has still been no shortage of theories about Mido's personal decisions. Some followers believe he has already turned the page, while others think there are still important details that have not been revealed. What makes the situation difficult to understand is the lack of a complete public timeline. Without knowing exactly when certain events happened, it is easy for people to make assumptions about the relationships involved. Mido's reported new wife has become an important part of the conversation, but public curiosity should not be confused with confirmed information. Until the couple themselves or a trustworthy source provides clear details, some questions will simply remain unanswered. Meanwhile, Debby's silence has also encouraged speculation. Fans naturally want to know how she feels about everything that has been reported, but silence does not necessarily confirm or deny any particular claim. There is a possibility that the people involved are simply choosing to handle personal matters privately. If that is the case, the public may never know every detail of what happened behind closed doors. Still, the story has created a powerful reaction. Supporters are discussing whether Mido deserves a fresh start, whether Debby should respond publicly, and whether the reported developments could eventually lead to an official legal separation. But before reaching those conclusions, there is one thing worth remembering. A relationship belongs to the people involved. Outside observers may see headlines and public appearances, but they rarely know the entire story. That is why the next verified update will matter more than all the speculation currently circulating. If Mido eventually confirms his current relationship status, it could put an end to many of the rumors. Likewise, if Debby decides to speak, Her perspective could add an entirely new dimension to the discussion. For now, fans are left waiting. Perhaps the next announcement will finally provide clarity. Or perhaps another unexpected development will keep the story going. Either way, Mido and Debby's relationship remains a topic that continues to capture attention, and many people will be watching closely for whatever comes next. What do you think the next chapter will bring? Do you expect an official announcement soon? Or will this mystery continue for a while longer? Let us know what you think. There is another side to this story that deserves attention. The possibility that the public still does not have the complete picture. When a celebrity's private life becomes a trending topic, every new detail can attract thousands of reactions. Supporters choose sides, online discussions become intense, and sometimes assumptions begin to sound like established facts. That appears to be happening around Mido and Debby as well. Instead of focusing only on the rumors, many followers are now wondering whether there is a deeper reason behind the changes in Mido's personal life. Was the reported new relationship something that developed recently? Or had it been kept away from the public for much longer? There are also questions about timing. If Mido really has entered a new marriage, understanding when that relationship began could completely change how people view the situation. But those answers are not currently available with enough certainty. Another interesting point is how differently people are interpreting the same reports. Some fans see Mido's alleged new chapter as a sign that he has made a final decision about his future. Others believe that the absence of direct confirmation means the story should still be approached carefully. Debby's next move could also become significant. Whether she chooses to respond, remain silent, or simply continue with her own life is ultimately her decision. Public pressure does not necessarily mean that someone has to reveal private details. And that may be the reason this story continues to develop slowly. There's no doubt that fans want a clear ending, but real-life relationships rarely follow the neat storyline presented in a headline. There can be disagreements, private conversations, family concerns, and personal decisions that outsiders never see. So, until reliable information becomes available, the biggest questions remain open. Mido may be preparing for a completely different future. Debby may also be moving in her own direction. Or there may still be details that could surprise everyone. The next confirmed development could therefore be more important than anything that has been discussed so far. For now, all eyes remain on the situation. Will Mido finally reveal the truth about his current relationship? Will Debby share her side? Or will both continue to keep their private lives away from the spotlight? Whatever happens, this story is clearly not finished yet. If you have been following the situation from the beginning, what do you think is really happening behind the scenes? Share your thoughts, because your opinion could be very different from the popular theories circulating online. The discussion has now reached another interesting stage, with fans paying close attention to every new piece of information connected to Mido's personal life. What started as questions about his relationship has gradually turned into a much larger conversation. People are no longer asking only about his reported new wife. They also want to understand what this could mean for Mido's previous relationship and whether there has been a permanent change in his personal circumstances. One reason the story continues to attract attention is the uncertainty surrounding the details. Different reports may present different versions, and without a clear timeline, it can be difficult to know which information deserves confidence. There is also a growing conversation about privacy. Even though public figures live under constant attention, they still have personal matters that may not be ready to share with everyone. A decision to remain quiet should not automatically be interpreted as confirmation of a rumor. For Mido, the coming period could be significant if he chooses to publicly explain his situation. A simple statement about his relationship status could answer many of the questions currently dominating social media. For Debby, the situation may also represent a new beginning. Whether she chooses to discuss the past or simply focus on her own future, her next steps could attract considerable attention. But perhaps the most important part of this entire story is what happens away from the cameras. Public opinion can be loud, but the people involved are the ones who know the reality of their relationship. That is why it would be premature to declare exactly what will happen next. Maybe an official divorce announcement will eventually appear. Maybe the reports about a new marriage will receive confirmation. Or perhaps some of the assumptions currently circulating will turn out to be incorrect. Until then, the story remains open. Fans will undoubtedly continue watching for interviews, public appearances, or social media updates that might provide a clearer picture. And if either Mido or Debby finally decides to tell their side of the story, it could become the most important development yet. So, after everything that has been discussed, what do you believe? Is this truly the final chapter of Mido and Debby's relationship, or could there still be a surprise waiting? Share your thoughts and stay tuned for the next part of this developing story. There is another side to this story that deserves attention: the possibility that the public still does not have the complete picture. When a celebrity's private life becomes a trending topic, every new detail can attract thousands of reactions. Supporters choose sides, online discussions become intense, and sometimes assumptions begin to sound like established facts. That appears to be happening around Mido and Debby as well. Instead of focusing only on the rumors, many followers are now wondering whether there is a deeper reason behind the changes in Mido's personal life. Was the reported new relationship something that developed